Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome to a brief overview of an upcoming game that has very much caught my attention and has also recently caught my excitement, Holdfast Nations at War. Currently in development by Anvil Game Studios, Holdfast Nations at War is an online first and third person multiplayer game that focuses on the combination of teamwork and individual skill. Set in the Napoleonic Era, you will take part in historic clashes on both land and sea with some of the most powerful nations of the time. I found out about this game several months ago, and while it certainly did look appealing, a lack of substantial content caused it to be stowed away in the back of my mind. It wasn't until these last few weeks that my excitement really started to grow. Seeing more about the game, I could very easily draw some parallels to the Mount and Blade Napoleonic Wars DLC. And in fact, after talking with their team, there are a few developers of that DLC that are working on the Anvil Game Studio team currently. And while it's easy to label Holdfast as a Mount and Blade reskin, I can tell you firsthand that it is far beyond that. Having been invited to a playtest, it is without a doubt its own game, if only for the fact that naval combat is a very large part of it. Unfortunately, there isn't any footage of that playtest as we weren't allowed to do so, but we have been told that once the game gets further into development, we will be able to record some in-game footage, so be on the lookout for that in the future as it will definitely become a solid part of my channel. I really enjoyed playing it, and it will be a very large part of my channel. In Holdfast Nations at War, you can choose to enlist in the army, selecting from several different roles that will help lead your nation to victory. Command your troops as an officer, cooperate with fellow line infantry, and fire devastating volleys at the enemy, even becoming a drummer to keep the men in order as you march across the battlefield. Enlisting in the Navy brings its own unique roles. As captain of your ship, it's your duty to keep your men alive. Steer your ship of the line into the wind, dropping individual sails to catch up to your comrades or turn to meet a foe. Load and fire the cannons, launch the lifeboats, and eventually be able to use the pumps to help keep your ship afloat. And yes, you can even drum those battle tunes on your ship as well. All classes in both land and sea will feature their own strengths and weaknesses, really diving into the immersion of the time period, as well as politely forcing you to become a team to defeat your enemies. As seen in the trailers and with talking to the developers, there will be several maps and map game types, ranging from the deserts of Africa into the forests and the rolling hills of Europe to the seas and most excitedly coastal battles, which will feature both naval and land combat. The maps we played on were absolutely gorgeous and detailed, with real-time day and night cycles and dynamic weather patterns such as rain and snow. The snow is actually a really nice touch. I was pleasantly surprised at the map variants we were able to play on right off the bat with these playtests, but it certainly made for some amazing combat across the board. It's also comforting that the developers are very open to suggestions for the game and took our critiques and praises seriously. They've been quick to respond on social media, and I look forward to being one of the many that will help make this game even better. Holdfast Nations at War is due for early access release on Steam sometime this year, 2017, but the exact date at this point is unknown. Should you support this game? In my opinion, absolutely yes. While this genre is still dominated by the huge fan base of Mount and Blade, and with games such as War of Rights out there already to play, Holdfast Nations at War brings a refreshing style to the table, especially with the addition of naval combat. With the onset of early access will come responsive feedback from the developers, as I mentioned before. It will no doubt advance development with new regions, ships, factions, gameplay features, and even potentially new game types being brought to the game before full release. If you're a fan of these types of games and have a group of people that you want to form your own regiment with, there will be plenty of opportunities for tournaments and competitive events to hone in your skills and dominate the battlefield. Holdfast Nations at War looks to be a great game, featuring an explosive time period and amazing gameplay. From what little I've played personally, I am completely on board, no pun intended. I can't wait to team up with our fellow YouTubers and have some epic line battles, or take to the seas and wreak havoc on some enemy ships. Be sure to check out their game at holdfastgame.com, and follow them on Twitter or visit the forums to stay up to date on development. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. This is Havoc, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Peace!